Author is funded by the Pacific Northwest Writers Association, supporting writers from pen to publication since 1955. To learn more about the PNWA and their yearly conference, please go to pnwa.org. Hi, this is Bill Kenower of Author Magazine, and I'm here at East West Books in Seattle, Washington with Michael Bianco-Splann, author of Conscious Leadership. Michael, welcome to Author.
Yeah, Bill, it's great to be with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me to discuss conscious leadership, and we can explore this together, and it's a great honor to be with you.
So, Michael, I kind of want to start just by learning a bit about you. I know before you started doing the work you're doing now, you were in the corporate world.
Yes.
Banking?
Yes, that's correct.
Was there something about working in banking that helped you see things differently? Was there something about that experience in particular?
Yeah, you know, I think it's fair to say that as I elevated in my authority, as I was promoted into higher positions particularly within the banking industry, I took on additional responsibilities, which meant dealing with more people, having more people to lead and to serve. And as a result of that, over the many years that I've been working in the industry and in the corporate construct, I learned that in order for me to be more effective, I had to evolve in my own leadership and my own style. So as I gained more authority in the financial services industry, I started to take on and started to experiment. And of course, I started to learn along the way in terms of what worked and what didn't work, and made some observations, which eventually led to the work that I've been doing over the last several years.
And when you say work, what does that, for you, what translates to your leadership was effective?
Well, you know, that's evolved over time. You know, the idea of conscious leadership, what I write about and what I espouse in the work that I've done over the last several years, it's really evolved to looking at, you know, I've been in the corporate construct for a long period of time. And in corporations, you have playbooks and you have processes and rules and regulations in terms of what it is that you do. Right. But what I've learned over time is that it's not so much important what you do, it's how you do what you do. Yeah. And so it's the how side of what's evolved over time for me.
And so it's less, because the business world, in my experience, certainly through the publishing industry, there's the result.
Yeah.
And as an artist, I cannot think about results.
Right.
I can only think about the process.
And it sounds be in the moment.
Being in the moment,
yes.
The results will come.
Yes.
And I know business has a tendency to get extremely bottom line and results oriented.
Absolutely.
And you're saying you're trying to pull attention off of that a little bit?
Well, you know, again, you know, in the corporate vernacular, you've got, you know, and I can use terms such as leading indicators and lagging indicators. The results are your lagging indicators. What goes into that is the behaviors attached to what it is and how you do what you do to get the results and when you get there. What I learned and what I've incorporated into my own leadership style over time is the how side of I'll use the term leading indicators. So you might have a playbook that says X, Y, and Z in terms of the way in which you're supposed to lead your team. And if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll get this result. What I found, however, is that when I become more conscious and present in my leadership style, and I understand the concept of being a servant leader, so I lead and serve you as my associate, and I collaborate with you, everything changes. The energy changes, the connection changes. You become more empowered in what you do, and that leadership then translates into even greater results.
Right.
So I've been very successful as a result of that.
And really, you're talking about an emotional presence, an emotional awareness to life. Felt, emotional, intuitive, receptive, relaxed, present, which again, when we think about and I imagine when I think of the business world, it is usually my left brain that I'm thinking of, not that right brain, which is really what you're talking about.
I am talking about that. And, you know, it really is, it's so interesting because when we break away from that construct, that as you said, that left brain way of dealing with, you know, and
just follow the numbers, follow the pattern.
And what I write about and what I speak directly about is about turning off the autopilot, right? Because we make 1,000 decisions every day, and we're on this autopilot wave that we just operate because that's the way we do things, right? So when you tune off the autopilot and you step into being aware of being aware,
Yeah.
you step into consciousness.
That's right.
And then you have an opportunity to make different choices.
That's right.
You have an opportunity to connect with people differently.
But you have to turn off the autopilot
That's right.
because that's making all the choices for
That's
you.
right. And you can learn how to do that.
Yeah.
That's
but you
what
have to
I
be
teach.
aware that you can
That's right.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so being present and conscious because let's face it, Bill, we're living our lives in this moment, and that's all we have.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
all
it.
we have.
That's it.
So we're sharing in the beauty of this moment right
Right.
now. And from a leadership point of view, when you realize that, you gain such tremendous power, and I mean power in a very good sense,
Right.
to be able then to connect with people differently because the energy changes.
Yeah.
And let's face it, we're all energy.
That's it.
You know, we're spirit, we're energy, and when that changes, then we have an opportunity to do things differently.
And obviously, you've found that within the corporate business world, they are receptive to this teaching.
The folks that I have led and served are receptive to it. Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. It's interesting though that, you know, in the upper echelons of the corporate world, it seems to be much, you know, there's a reticence to look at this.
Yeah.
Now, I have my hope is that the work that I do will actually infiltrate into companies, small, medium, and large companies, to be able to install these principles within their leadership model, so that they can gain in that experience.
What's the resistance, you think, from the boardroom?
Well, I think a lot of it's the status quo.
Just tradition.
Absolutely. I think this is the way we've always done things, and this is the way we're going to continue to do it. That's all fluff. That's a fluffy way to look at things.
Woo woo.
Yeah, it's woo woo, and when in fact it's nothing but the essence of really turning your business around, which is really interesting because businesses that have customers that they serve, and that's a lot of industries, right?
Yeah.
You'd think that they would learn that if they were to embrace qualities of love and service and actually inculcate that into their culture, it would make sense, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you as a customer, if you walked into a business and felt really cared for?
Yes.
How often do we feel that? World-class companies do a fairly good job at that. You know, in
A
hospitality,
lot of times I feel like people are trying to get me to get something.
Right.
I kind of feel used a little bit.
Well,
a little bit.
It's all about the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's about selling my product. It's about making profit.
Yeah.
You know, and people are very quick to sell to you, but very, very slow to actually want to say, who are you as a human being, and let me get to know you. When in fact, that's what people want. People want to be understood.
When I was a waiter, my bosses wanted me to sell. Sell them the lobster.
Upsell
them.
yeah, right.
And I said, I don't want to do it. I said, rather just give them a really good experience and assume that the money will come. I can't sell. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. I
Right.
just want them to enjoy
But
themselves.
that's the model that exists in most of corporate America today. It's like we do the homework, we decide what our customers want. We will manage their customer expectation as opposed to listening to what the customer actually wants. And the customers will tell you. Customers are very quick to tell you what they want.
Right.
You know, they want to feel good. You boil it
Everybody
down,
wants to feel good.
Everybody wants to feel good.
That's right.
Right? And whether you're in hospitality, financial services, in the communication industry, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's ubiquitous.
That's right. That's right. That's actually what I teach my writing students. You know, all your characters, your fictional characters, all want the same thing, to feel good. I don't care if it's the villain or they all want to feel good.
It's the
That's our
bottom
goal.
line.
That's right.
As a human being.
So one more question
Yeah,
for you, Michael.
yeah.
What I'd like you to do is finish this sentence for me, and which is, if writing, just writing, all the writing you've ever done in your life, including this book, but if writing has taught me anything, it's taught me what?
It's given me a sense of humility in the broader context of myself and the greater world around me, and let's say the universe, right? It's given me a sense of right size and perspective and context in terms of who I am and what my role is in this iteration of this lifetime.